Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today to do a tag. So I was actually tagged by the creator of this tag, and I also saw a friend of mine, Bettina, do this tag, and I thought, look, I'm into project panning. I want to talk about project panning. Let's do the tag. So yeah, currently I'm waiting for baby. I'm really enjoying wearing makeup, especially my project pan stuff. For some reason, it's all working so well at the moment that we're in isolation, so I really enjoy doing my makeup. So on my face, I'm wearing all project pan stuff. I'm wearing project pan eyeshadows as well as some other stuff just randomly thrown in. So I can't list what's on my eyes because it's like 2 palettes and a eyeshadow stick and random shit that I was just playing with. But so yeah, I thought I'd film even though I'm technically on leave because I'm bored and I'm enjoying talking about makeup and playing with makeup. So this is called the Project Pan tag. It was created by Sarah Rose. So I will put her video in the description box if you want to check it out. I'll also put Bettina's video from the Makeup Enthusiast because I watched them both. And I'll have the questions in there as well. So if you wanted to do it yourself, feel free. I'm not going to tag anyone in particular, maybe Hayley. You tagged Hayley. But if you do project pans and you do videos on them, you can answer these questions too. Now, I'm sure I've done at least one other project panning tag a couple of years ago, but it's been a while, so I thought, look, I can do it again. My project panning style has changed, so let's talk about it. But let's get into the first question. So the first one is, how long have you been project panning? Now, I actually looked up my old videos, which a lot of them are on private because I put a lot of them on private, and I actually put up my first project panning video on the 22nd of January 2015. So I've been project panning for over 5 years, which is crazy. So I thought it was around 4 years, but it is definitely over 5 years. So yeah, I was shocked. Okay, question number 2. What made you decide to start panning? What did you hope to get out of it? Now, I didn't actually watch my first video. I couldn't be bothered. I don't remember because it was over 5 years ago, but I have an inkling. Like, I was having a look at the products that I had in my first project pan, and I sort of feel like it was a way to sort of use up products that I didn't want in my collection anymore. Also at the time, I was always looking out for fun sort of series to create on YouTube because I was creating a lot more videos back then. So I think I was creating at least 3 a week. So I do still create quite a lot of videos a week spread over beauty news and this channel. But I think when I was dedicated to this channel, I was always on the lookout for something fun that I could incorporate into my channel and my blog at the time. So I think it was a combination of trying to use up products that I had in my collection that I just wasn't like, that were getting old, but also trying to create content that I thought was interesting. Question number 3, how do you like to structure your project pans? Short seasonal projects, year-long rolling projects, or something else? Now, in the 5 years, I have tried multiple different project pan styles. So I was looking, and the first one I did, I don't think it was any particular style of project pan. It was just like targeting a few products. But then the next one I did was a project 10 pan. So that was definitely something I did. At some point in time, I do remember doing things like trying to use up X amount of products by X date, trying to use up a certain value of products by a certain date. So I have done different styles. I've done seasonal project pans, but last year and this year I've done year-long project pans that are rolling project pans and have a seasonal element to it. So it sort of incorporates a few things. And I just find that I get better results doing it that way. So I do know there's a lot of panning channels that do really short projects, and they do a lot of different projects. I find that really hard to keep track of, and it becomes a little bit like overwhelming. So I like to just have one project pan going at any point in time, but I also like it to be pretty in depth where there's a lot in there. So I've got a lot of room for playing with different things if I need to, changing things up if I need to, but also having the length of time to really see progress happen. Because when it comes to using up makeup, a blush can take you a whole year to use up. So I sort of like to give myself the ability to actually use it up if I wanted to. So a year-long one, I see better results with it. So with the project pan that I'm currently doing, and the same as what I did last year, you pretty much have a full face of products, as well as some body products or skincare or hair care or whatever you want to put in. And then when you've used something up, you replace it with something else of the same category. And I find that that really gets you a lot of good results. I think I used up something like 50 or 60 items last year. And then we also give the option of sort of changing things up every 3 months. So there's a seasonal element to it. So for example, if a foundation is too dark for me and I just don't want to use it in winter, I'm not going to force myself to use it. At the start of winter, I can sort of swap it out for something else that does work. So there is like a refresh element to it, which keeps things fresh. It's really easy to focus on products for 3 months. So I feel like that's a really good way to get long-term results, but also have the freedom to refresh things and keep things interesting. So that's what I like to do. But I have done so many different types of project pans, but this is the one that sort of works the best for me. All right, question number 4 is, what are your favorite ways to track your progress? Now, there's a lot of different ways to track progress. There's taking photos of it, marking it on bottles, marking pencils or lip products or whatever happens to be on paper. There's weighing products. There's, a whole bunch of different things. I am a visual person. I really like to see a product go down. So I like to either take photos or mark bottles where bottles will settle. So if you've got a liquid and you can easily just mark it on the side of the bottle, I love being able to look at the bottle and go, okay, well, I've used up a quarter of it last month. So that gives me the hope that if I keep going the way I'm going, I can use this up in 3 months. So I really like to see the visual progress. When it comes to pan products and like lip products, I like to take photos of them and compare them to like the last month, just because even though a lot of the time you can't see much progress, but I still prefer to do it that way because again, I like to see a visual, change. When it comes to weighing products, even though I do weigh products that I can't measure, so mascaras and like liquid liners and stuff, things you actually can't measure at all in a visual way, I will weigh them. The problem with weighing things though is I find it's a real sort of demotivator, because if you've been using a lip gloss, like I'm wearing a lip gloss today, and if I've been using it all the time and then I check back and I've used like less than 1 gram of it, it doesn't feel like you've made as much progress as you sort of expected, because it doesn't feel like the number is so small. So I often find that weighing things, it shows that I'm making progress and it proves that I'm making progress, but it doesn't mean much to me. And because packaging weighs so much, if you go, okay, this product weighs 10 grams, but I know the packaging weighs 50 grams, you could take away the weight of the packaging and at least you know roughly how much product weight you have to go on. But because we don't know the weight of the packaging until it's empty, I don't find that method helpful at all. So I still do weigh things just to prove that I've made progress on it, but I much prefer some visual tracking element because I feel like that's the most motivating for me. I used to mark lip products and pencils on a piece of paper. So essentially you have a piece of paper, you line up your pencil, you mark it, and then the next month you come in and you mark it and you look at the difference in the lines. I stopped doing that. I know a lot of people do that, and it's sort of the similar concept as marking a bottle, but just on a piece of paper. But I always found it to be so messy and I didn't really like it, so I much prefer to just take photos and then compare the 2 photos. All right, question number 5 is, what products have been the easiest for you to pan? And question number 6 is, what products have been the hardest for you to pan? And I'll talk about them both. Easiest is definitely products that I put all over my face. So I feel like foundations, primers aren't the easiest, but they're not too bad. Powders are pretty easy for me. Finishing sprays are really easy for me. So products that I put all over my face, I can get through within 3 months, even if the product is nearly full. So yeah, I find those easiest. Also for me, if I find a combination of base products, powders, whatnot, that all work well together, I'm happy to use that combination every single day. I'm not the kind of person that wants a low coverage on this day and a high coverage on this day. I'm the kind of person that's just happy to wear the foundation if it sits well. So base products are super easy for me. I can go through a setting spray in a few months. I can go through a powder in a few months. I guess the next things that are probably pretty easy for me are like lip balms and perfume. I think perfume is super easy. Again, I can use the same perfume every single day. It doesn't bother me. As long as the scent is something that I quite like for that season, I can wear it every single day and it does not bother me. So those are the things that I think I see most progress on, and they're the ones that I generally look back at the end of the year and I'm like, oh, I used up 7 foundations. Go me. Hardest products are definitely, I find lipsticks. So not like tinted lip balms or lip glosses. I can go through those fairly quickly, not super, super quickly, but fairly quickly. I feel like colored lipsticks are really hard for me and it's almost impossible. I don't even do it. I just pretty much pan nude lipsticks these days because anything with color, I don't like to wear the same color every day. So, and even if I love the color, like it's like my perfect red, for some reason, if I'm wearing it multiple times, I'm like, I just want to go a different shade of red tomorrow. So, you know, I just find colored lipsticks really, really hard, and eyeshadows are really hard. And the reason for those is that I'm pretty much happy to keep the rest of my face exactly the same every single day. Same primer, foundation, powder, concealer, setting spray, blush, bronzer, highlighter, brows, mascara. I'm happy to keep all of that the same every single day. But the things I like to change up my eyes and my lips. So they're the things that I struggle the most with. I also really struggle with nail polish. So I never put nail polish in my project pans because I just feel like I'm not motivated to pan a nail polish. And I also find hair products really hard as well because besides shampoo and conditioner, I don't actually use many hair products. I also have the type of hair that can have a bit of volume, but if I put too much product in it, it looks limp and dirty really instantly. So when I do try to pan a hair product, I've got to use the smallest amount. So hair products are really, really hard for me as well. Question number 7 is, are there any types of products that you rarely or never put into a project pan? Yeah, like I said, nail polish, I don't ever put in a project pan. Purely because, like, even though I wear nail polish all the time, this is getting too bright, let's turn this down a little bit. Even though I do wear nail polish all the time, I am not the type of person that likes to redo my nail polish multiple times a week. And that's what you need to do to actually use up a nail polish. I'm the kind of person that uses a nail polish, puts a gel top coat on, and doesn't want my nail polish to bother me for a whole week. And then what I'll do is I'll come back a week later and begrudgingly change my nail polish color, and it's generally to a different color. So because I really don't like doing my nails often, and putting a nail polish in just won't work, and I'm similar to lipstick, I just want a different color each week. So a nail polish I never put in. Other things that I don't put in, look, realistically, there's not many. You know, there's different categories like colored lipstick, like I was saying, that I don't put in, but I still put lipsticks in my project pan. One thing that I have put in recently, but I often don't, is a mascara. And the reason I don't do that is because I sort of don't feel like there's any benefit putting a mascara in, because I will wear the same mascara every day. So I think what I'm trying to say is, because I sort of organically use a mascara, like use one until I use it up, there's not many that I really need to focus on or force myself to focus on as a challenge to use it up. Unlike my foundations, where I probably have like 15 open at this one time, I do need to be like, okay, Kat, pick one that you want to focus on, use it up, move on to the next one, and keep doing that until we've narrowed down our collection. I don't really have to do that with mascaras. So even though I have one in currently, it doesn't really need to be there. All right, question number 8 is, do you pan skincare or body care or strictly makeup? Now, similar to what I was saying about mascara, I don't normally pan much skincare or body care because, again, I always have 1 or 2 moisturizers out at a time, and I will use them until I use them up, and then I'll put something new in. Same as serums, same as cleansers, same as body wash. So for me, even though the yearly project pan does incorporate skincare and body care and hair care into it, skincare and body care is something that I'm just putting in for the sake of it, and I'm using it as a sort of way to pick out products that aren't normally in my daily routine and that I don't use organically, so to really force myself to either incorporate into my routine or use up something that's getting old. So I do have some skincare, but it's not my main focus because skincare has never been an issue for me. I do empties every month and it's generally a lot of skincare because yeah, I like to only keep 1 or 2 things of each category open, and then I won't open anything else until I've used it up. So skincare is not a sort of issue area for me. Makeup is, like I said, I can have like 15 foundations open at one time. So I do focus mainly my project pan on makeup. All right, question number 9. What is your number 1 advice for a successful project pan? I'm going to say, look, I think there's 2 ways that I think 2 pieces of advice that I'll give. One is for people that are starting out, because I know that, especially the project pan that I'm doing, it's a very large project pan. It has like over 20 items in it, I presume, and it can be very overwhelming if you just jump into that. So I would say if you are thinking of starting a project pan, maybe pick 5 to 10 products to focus on and see if you can use them up, because that's where you can sort of still have a bit of freedom to play with other things, but you have the core, say 5 items that you really want to work on and use most days to start seeing progress on. So I do think that, yeah, keeping it quite small to begin with so it's not overwhelming, because I have heard a lot of people say, look, it's either too overwhelming or too restrictive, like I can't play with other things and it sort of stresses me out. So keep it small to begin with. If you aren't just starting out and you've done this a couple of times, or you're sort of familiar with the process, or you're comfortable with the process, I would say that the best tip to get good results is to find makeup that actually works well together. So for example, I did my makeup today, not because I was planning on filming, because I wasn't, but just because I really found it easy to do my makeup. I find it enjoyable. The products work well together. I like the effect of it. Because you tend to use the same makeup every day, you become really fast at applying it. And it just sort of, if you can find makeup that works well together, it makes the whole process a lot better, and you will see results a lot faster. You'll be wanting to reach for your project pan things. The biggest misconception is people thinking that you pan things that you really hate because you want to get rid of them. If you really hate something, I would say throw it out or pass it on to someone who will enjoy it. So I like to pan things that I still like, but might be getting old, might be slightly the wrong color that I need to tweak, might be something that, yeah, I like, but I just have things that I like more. So yeah, my goal of project panning is sort of minimizing my collection into a more manageable collection where I really, really love every single item. So if I've got 15 foundations, but I love 5 of them, and the rest are good foundations, but not as good as the other 5, I'm going to pan the 10 that I think are good, but aren't my top 5. So that's how I sort of see project panning. It's more about using things that still work for you, that you enjoy using on a daily basis, but you have better things in your collection so you don't need the other ones anymore. All right, the last question is question number 10, and it is, has panning affected your makeup purchasing habits? If so, how? Look, I would say yes. Look, yes and yes. I sort of feel like saying yes and no, because now that I know that I've been panning for over 5 years, my purchasing habits have changed a lot for a variety of reasons, but it hasn't just been because of panning. It's mainly because of sort of oversaturation with makeup and having a large collection and realizing that I don't need all these things anymore. But I think what panning has impacted is my ability to know how long it takes to use up a product. So for example, look, eyeshadows and lip products are always going to be my problem areas. I'm always going to want to buy them, even though I know that I can't use up an eyeshadow palette in a year. I know that I can't stick to using one lip product every day. So even though those are my problem areas, I acknowledge that, I understand that. But when it comes to all my other products, I will look at a brow pomade and I will be like, all right, that new brow pomade looks nice, but I also know that I have 3 brow pomades and they take about a year to use up each because I've panned brow pomades. So it does stop me from buying more, knowing how much it takes to use up a product. At the same time, it also gives me some leniency with buying more of products that I can use up fast. So if there's a foundation or a powder that I want to try, I can confidently be like, go get that, because if you have too many foundations in your collection, you know you can use it up within 3 months, so big deal. But when it comes to like a blush or a highlighter or something, I really have to be careful, because I have to look at my blush drawer or where I keep my highlighters and be like, yeah, these are going to take you years and years and years to use up. So do you really need to add another one to it? And so I am more mindful of my sort of makeup habits and how much makeup I use in a year, how much makeup I use on a daily basis. So it has informed me a lot, which has sort of affected my purchasing habits. Another thing that I think project panning has helped me do, which is really interesting, is know what colors I reach for on a daily basis. So when it does come to highlighting or blush or bronzer, I know what colors I'm happy to reach for every single day, because I've forced myself sometimes to use a particular color blush or a particular finish blush or a particular color highlighter. So if I find something in that sort of color story that I know that I'm happy to reach for every day, I'm more confident in purchasing it. Whereas if I've tried to pan a really bright pink blush and I know that I fail at it because I hate the effect of it, it will deter me from, buying another one. So I do think it does help teach you your habits. So I think that's really important about project panning. But another thing with project panning is if you do look back and go, oh, in the last 6 months, I used up 3 foundations, it sort of does give you license to buy a couple more because you've done such a good job. So often I find that it doesn't streamline the collection as much as I would like it to, but it maybe does just keep it under control a little bit. All right, so those are the questions done and dusted. So if you did want to do this yourself, the questions will be in the description box, as well as a link to Sarah, who created the tag. So thank you so much for tagging me. It's been fun. I do love talking about project panning. And I feel like now that I know that I've been doing it for over 5 years, I'm like, bit of a veteran. I didn't realize it was that long, but I think that also does show that once you sort of get into the groove of it and you do enjoy it, you can maintain it for a long period of time, and it does help sort of, I don't know, keep your makeup collection under control and fresh. Like, it's really good to focus on products that are getting old, so don't have a collection of funky makeup that's gone off. So yeah, I've really enjoyed project panning over the years. I did also do a video, I think it was at the start of the year, end of last year, something like that, giving my tips and tricks if you wanted to start a project pan. So I'll link that down below as well in case you were thinking about doing it and you wanted more tips and tricks. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.